Introduction. A sudden shift that left fields and farmers unprepared. In a sudden and surprising move, the Japanese government has reversed its long-standing policy of reducing rice production and is now calling on farmers to ramp it up again. The shift comes amid rising food security concerns and a looming rice shortage due to climate change and global supply chain disruptions. However, for many rice farmers across the country, the announcement has sparked confusion, frustration, and deep concern. For over a decade, farmers were actively encouraged, both financially and structurally, to switch away from rice production to curb oversupply and support market prices. Now, with little warning, they are being asked to return to rice paddies they left behind, to grow crops they no longer have the tools, seeds, or systems for. The policy reversal. From reduce to revive. The government's agricultural policy until recently prioritized diversification. Farmers were incentivized to shift from staple rice cultivation to alternative crops such as soybeans, vegetables, or even feed rice, in an effort to stabilize prices and respond to dietary changes among Japanese consumers. But in mid-2025, facing fears of a domestic rice shortage exacerbated by erratic weather and declining imports from Southeast Asia, officials abruptly announced a renewed push for increased rice production. Subsidies and support previously geared towards alternate crops are now being redirected toward rice cultivation. "We knew there would be a shortage from the beginning," said 64-year-old Hiroshi Yamamoto, a veteran farmer in Niigata Prefecture. "But the government kept telling us to reduce rice planting. We followed that policy, and now we are being told to do the opposite. It's not that easy." Farmers left in a bind. The practical challenges of a U-turn. Farmers who adapted their fields, equipment, and supply chains for other crops now face significant hurdles in reverting to rice cultivation. The switch is neither simple nor quick. Rice requires a completely different irrigation system, explained Emi Nakahara, a farmer in Akita. "In the past 5 years, we invested in tools for growing edamame and corn. Now we're being told to undo all of that. Who's going to cover those costs?" Many rice paddies have been converted to dry fields, greenhouses, or other uses. Some have been left fallow due to aging populations and labor shortages. Reversing those decisions could take years, and comes with a significant financial burden. "I've already signed contracts with supermarkets to supply soybeans for the next 2 years, said Jun Sato, a 52-year-old farmer in Ibaraki. "I can't just tear up those agreements. It's like being asked to change careers overnight." The emotional toll. "We're not machines." Beyond logistics and economics, the policy reversal is taking a psychological toll on farmers who feel whiplashed by inconsistent government messaging. "We're not machines that can be turned on and off," said Rika Fujimoto, a third-generation farmer. "Farming is a long-term investment. Our choices are based on careful planning and trust in policy guidance." That trust has been broken. In rural communities already struggling with depopulation and aging, the uncertainty has added to anxieties about the future of farming altogether. "Many of us are just tired," said Hiroshi. "This kind of instability makes younger generations hesitant to continue farming. They ask, what's the point if the government can change its mind anytime?" Climate change in the global context. A brewing crisis. The government's sudden call for increased rice production didn't come out of nowhere. Climate-related disasters in Southeast Asia, long a key source of rice imports, have triggered a global rice shortage. India's recent export restrictions and Thailand's droughts have pushed prices to decade-high levels. Meanwhile, Japan itself has suffered from erratic weather. A scorching early summer followed by floods in the Hokuriku region damaged local crops, further heightening concern about domestic food security. "We're looking at a situation where rice could become more expensive than ever," said Dr. Kanae Ogura, an agricultural economist at Tokyo University. "This reversal is a reactive measure to that. But it's being executed without adequate preparation." Unintended consequences. Risk to other crops. Another concern is the potential disruption to other sectors. Farmers who switch back to rice may abandon crops like soybeans, vegetables, and feed grains, crops that have become important for Japan's self-sufficiency goals. "There's a risk we'll end up with an oversupply of rice again and a shortage of other staples," warned Drive. Ogura. "The pendulum could swing too far the other way. Supermarkets and food processors are also affected. Supply chains built around diversified produce could collapse, leading to higher costs for consumers and waste from unused inventory." What farmers are asking for: stability, not chaos. Farmer cooperatives and agricultural unions have begun to voice their concerns more publicly, calling for clarity, consistency, and long-term vision. What we need is a stable, predictable policy that lets us plan for the next 10 to 20 years, not just the next harvest, said a representative of Japan Agricultural Cooperative in Tohoku. Give us a roadmap, not panic-based decisions. Many are calling for hybrid support systems, programs that help farmers balance rice cultivation with other crops in a way that ensures both economic viability and food security. We understand the need for rice, said Emi Nakahara. But help us get there. Don't just throw us into the deep end. The government's response, promises and pushback. In response to mounting criticism, the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries held an emergency press conference, promising new subsidies, seed distribution programs, and regional support initiatives. We acknowledge the burden on farmers and are preparing support packages to ease the transition, said Minister Yoshihide Takamura. This is a national priority. We need our farmers more than ever. But for many in the fields, such promises feel too little, too late. We've heard these promises before, said Jun Sato. They rarely arrive on time, and when they do, the conditions are complicated. Stories from the ground, a patchwork of responses. Across Japan, the response among farmers is varied. Some, especially older farmers who never fully transitioned away from rice, are cautiously optimistic. This might actually help us, said 70-year-old Kazuo Taniguchi in Yamagata. I never stopped planting rice, and now the prices are finally rising. Maybe the young ones will come back. Others, however, are planning to stick with their current crops and wait out the storm. I can't afford another gamble, said Rika Fujimoto. I'm staying with soybeans this year. I'll see what happens next. Conclusion. A future in flux. Japan's food security, once taken for granted, now feels uncertain. The government's abrupt policy shift on rice production highlights the fragility of the agricultural sector and the importance of foresight in policymaking. For the farmers, the backbone of the nation's food supply, this moment feels like yet another test of resilience in an already demanding profession. We want to feed the country, said Hiroshi Yamamoto. We always have. But we need support, not confusion. We need policy, not politics. As the country stares down the barrel of a potential rice crisis, the challenge now is not just growing more rice, but rebuilding the trust, systems, and strategies needed to secure Japan's agricultural future.